Datuk Muhammad Sadiq bin Kashir Ghani, representative of the Minister of Foreign Affairs Malaysia and the Director General of the Institute of Diplomacy and Foreign Relations. Yang berbahagia Puan Hajah Zawana binti Muhammad, the Director of ILIM. Yang berbahagia Professor Dr. Ghazali bin Basri, representing the President of the Islamic Outreach Avim Center. Yang berbahagia Datuk Slamat Paigo, representative of the Director General of the Department of Islamic Advancements Malaysia, representatives from NGOs, respected participants of the conference, brothers, sisters, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terlebih dahulu saya selaku pengerusi majlis ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada tetamu terhormat kita yang berbahagia, Datuk Muhammad Sadiq bin Kashir Ghani, mewakili Menteri Luar Negeri Malaysia kerana sudi meluangkan masa untuk bersama kami dalam acara perasmian bagi International Confrence on Masjid Tourism. Selamat datang yang berbahagia Datuk. Memandangkan bahawa terdapat ramai antara kami yang datang dari luar negeri, saya memohon untuk meneruskan majlis dalam bahasa Inggeris. Good morning to everyone. Welcome to the International Conference on Masjid Tourism 2018 with the theme of Empowering Da'wah through Masjid Tourism. Let me introduce myself. My name is Zahurin Muhammad, Masjid Tour Guide of Masjid Putra, and I will be the MC for today. Before we continue with the opening ceremony, let us invite Ustaz Said Hussein to make dua for the smooth running and success of this conference. Ustaz Said.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي خلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون بالأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. To start this conference, let me read together Surah Al-Fatiha of the Quran. Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين صلاة تنجينا بها من جميع الأهوال والآفات وتقضي لنا بها من جميع الحاجات وتطهرنا بها من جميع السيئات وترفعنا بها عندك أعلى الدرجات وتبلغنا بها أقصى الغايات من جميع الخيرات في الحياة وبعد الممات. اللهم يا Allah, on this blessed morning, in conjunction with the International Conference on Masjid Tour Guide Program, we beseech you and are grateful to you in favor of all the infinite blessing given to us, your humble servants, to live in safe and prosperous life. Ya Rabbal Alameen, we seek your blessings for our flawless progress of this event from the beginning until the end. Ya Rahman Ar-Rahim, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayah. Guide us all into the greatness, peace, glory, and prosperity in this world and hereafter. Ya Mu'ti al-Kitab, make us responsible intellectual, the intellectual who spread your code of conduct, the beautiful way of life, and the message Rahmatan lil Alameen. Ya Fatah, please bestow patience in us in order to face the challenges of the world. Grant us success in your way of da'wah and make us among whom you love, and bless us to love you and your messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Ya Mu'ti al-Ulum wal-Arzaq, grant us valuable knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind in order to gain your mardatillah and instill peace on the earth. Ya Ghafir al-Dhunub, please forgive all of us and forgive our parents and their parents and those who departed from us from the world. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana hadha jam'an marhuma وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا ولا معنا شقيا ولا محروما يا أرحم الراحمين. ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المسير. وصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Amin amin ya rabbal alamin. Yang berbahagia Datuk, ladies and gentlemen, the Masjid Tour Guide program started in 2002 with the aim of conveying the message of Islam to non-Muslim visitors and tourists through the Masjid's architecture, history and its features. The Islamic Outreach Center ABIM has taken proactive steps in developing the infrastructure of NTG program and enhancing human resources through a series of trainings in self-development, team building and sharing experience. It's been 15 years since it started and the IOAC is now operating in 10 participating mosques throughout Malaysia and in the MAIS Islamic Information Center in Shah Alam. The Masjid Tour Guide program has the potential of creating goodwill and harmony, especially between Muslims and non-Muslims. It is indeed an honor for us to have with us the representative from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Muhammad Sadiq bin Katidani, who is the Director General, Institute of Diplomacy and Foreign Relations. For your information, ladies and gentlemen, we truly have an international audience, mashallah, with participation from over 13 countries. Okay? And because I was so proud to have all this list, perhaps we can see who are these people from. Can I see a show of hands from Bahrain? MashaAllah. Thank you, brothers, sisters. From Japan. Japan. Hong Kong. Okay. Pakistan. India. Turkey. Sri Lanka. Indonesia, from Taiwan, from the Maldives, Brunei, Thailand, and South Africa. MashaAllah. Okay, see two hands, one person. Alhamdulillah. Most international conferences claim they're international, but ours is truly international. MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. Now, to move on with our event, we would now like to invite Professor Dr. Ghazali bin Basri, who is a representative of the President of the IOAC, to deliver his welcoming speech. Professor Ghazali.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wa bihi nasta'in ala umuri dunya waddin. Alladhi hadana li hadha Allah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man tabi'ahu wa la. Amma ba'd. Terima kasih Puan Pengerusi. Yang berbahagia Datuk Muhammad Sadiq bin Katidani, Director General, Institute of Diplomacy and Foreign Relations, representing the representatives of the Minister of Foreign Affairs Malaysia, who is representing Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Saifuddin Abdullah, Minister of Foreign Affairs Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Puan Hajah Zawanah binti Muhammad, Director Institute of Islamic Training Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Datuk Selamat bin Payego, representative of the Director General Department of Development Malaysia, JAKIM. Yang berusaha Tuan Haji Aizan P. Aizan, CEO of Islamic Outreach Center, IBIM Center. Yang berbahagia Tuan Haji Nur Azamir bin Haji Elias, Chief Imam Masjid, Imam saya, Masjid Tuan Pemizan Zainal Abidin. Yang berusaha Wan Hormat binti Sulaiman. Yang berusaha Ustaz Dr. Said Hussein. Yang berusaha Datuk Dr. Abdul Latif sebagai Coordinator of Volunteers of Masjid Tour Guide Program. To the local international participants, and to our beloved esteemed guests from Discover Islam Bahrain, together with their masjid officials, tour guides from Turkey, India, Japan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Maldives, from Australia, South Africa, Kenya, Thailand, Indonesia, and Negara Brunei Darussalam. Have to mention in full. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Marilah kita panjatkan rasa kesyukuran yang tidak terhingga kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala atas inayah dan wilayahnya yang membolehkan kita berhimpun di dewan yang mulia ini. Saya mengucapkan selamat datang, ahlan wa sahlan ke International Confrence on Masjid Tourism 2018. Anjuran bersama, iaitu anjuran bersama Islamic Outreach IBIM Center, IAOC dengan Jabatan Kemajuan Islam Malaysia JAKIM yang diwakili Masjid Tuan Pemizan Zainal Abidin Putrajaya dan Institut Latihan Islam Malaysia ILIM dan Islamic Tourism Center Malaysia. Alhamdulillah. All praise and thanksgiving to Allah Subhanahu wa taala. I, on behalf of the Islamic IBIM Center, would like to extend our warm welcome to all participants, distinguished guests attending this conference on Masjid Tourism organized by OAC in collaboration with JAKIM and ILIM. Oleh kerana persidangan ini dihadiri ramai peserta antarabangsa, izinkan saya untuk meneruskan ucapan ini dalam bahasa Inggris. Ladies and gentlemen, let me first tell about in brief the history of IBIM. IBIM is a form of Angkatan Belia Islam. In Arabic, it's Harakah Al-Shabab Islamic di Malaysia. It was formed in the early 70s, and most of the founding members, some of them have already left this world, and some of them was living here now. I think most of them they are in the government. Some of them are ministers now, and then, realizing the imperative of Islam as rahmatan lil alamin, so we formed this Islamic Outreach IBIM in 1987. That is to reach out to non-Muslims, especially residing in Kuala Lumpur and its surrounding. And we started in a very humble effort. At that time was we use the premise of WAMI. This is World of Muslim Assembly in the Asian sector in Ampang Hilir. What we did was we just put a signboard or banner saying that all of you are welcome. welcome to the session of discussions and having, you know, the nasi lemak and teh tarik and kuih. We have, you know, tables and umbrella. There we had discussion on Islam, and some of them would like to hear from our video clips on Islam. So from that, we started, you know, from volunteers, and as the number of volunteers grew, we were able to diversify our effort in having other activities rather than, I think, reaching out, you know, telling Islam to them. We have also the volunteers to go for the orang asli, you know, the indigenous people, and also we have also the hospital visits, and also we have also even we go to the prison, you know, to meet prisoners, you know, in those days. It was in the early 90s. And also even we have the you know, the volunteers who go to at night time, you know, to approach our youth. We call the rocking youth. We call it Ambon Hidayah. You know, these people, they love music, and some of them play guitars at midnight, and then, you know, Ambon means, you know, they want to stay long at midnight. You get, you know, what drizzling, what was, you know, water vapor. So Ambon Hidayah means that they get the guidance from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So that was the time when we had this Sunday outreach. Then, of course, from there, in 2002, we started this Islamic Outreach Center, when we have the program of mosque, when we sing in front of tourists coming to mosque. And at that time there was, you know, no proper guide to handle them, to accompany them. So that we formed this MTG. This is Mosque Tour Guide. That started in 2002. Alhamdulillah, with the blessing of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, this program received solid support from JAKIM, Department Islamic Advanced Malaysia, the state religious departments, and state Masjid in Malaysia. It is through this project that our guides have the opportunity to explain about Islam to tourists visiting our mosque. The MTG program provides avenues for intimate interaction between our guides with visitors, whereby various aspects of Masjid being explained, such as its beautiful architecture, its calligraphy, its functions of each paraphernalia found in the mosque. For example, the minaret, you know, the mihrab, you know. And of course, and invariably our guides in the explanation would relate them to the tenet of Tawheed imperative. This is very beautiful. I think that our guides have been, you know, trained that, you know, anytime they explain to them, you must relate to the Tawheed. You know, this is the core, the imperative of Islam. Also through this interaction, there is an ample room for our guides to redress and mitigate the stereotypes, the negative images of Islam posed by the Western media. And again, I think that aspect that I think we have to carefully, I think, prepare ourselves to explain to our visitors regarding, you know, the negative aspects, you know, the portrayal of negative aspects of Islam, especially in the Western media. Ladies and gentlemen, today it is almost 1.5 decades now that our mosque tour guides have actively been working in 10 masajid. It is our earnest hope that the experience of IOAC in these activities to be shared with others. In this regard, we would like to extend our special appreciation to JAKIM, which is now being represented by Masjid Tuan Rumizan, Zainul Abidin, Institute Latihan Islam Ilim, and Islamic Tourism Center for being an important strategic partners in this initiative. We sincerely hope that this cooperation and collaboration would continue in the future, inshallah. I think, to be fair for me, I think we have to, again, to reiterate the objectives of this conference. One is that to promote better understanding of masjid tourism as a medium for da'wah to non-Muslim visitors who's a very good religious background through masjid tour guide program. Second, to share guidelines and standard operating procedures (SOP) for establishing MTGP tour guide program in potential mosques of tourists. We hope to have more other mosques, in Malaysia to become our center of activities. And to initiate, thirdly, to initiate a center of excellence for MTGP to achieve excellence in dawah activities to non-Muslim tourists through Masjid Tour Guide program, and to build strategic partnership amongst masjid authorities and volunteers to empower dawah work in masjid tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I, on behalf of the organizing bodies, would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the organizing committee from IOAC, the Masjid Tuanku Mr. Sultan Abidin, Institut Latihan Institut Latihan Islam Malaysia, ILIM, and Islamic Tourism Center Malaysia for their sincere effort in making this conference a success. To our guests, our special thanks, Jazakumullah khairan kathiran wa khairul jazaa, to Dr. Ayar Abdul Latif bin Muhammad Som, Head of Finance and Fundraising. Without them, of course, I think we have difficulties in running this program. And to Sister Norma Sulaiman, who is the anchor person in having this conference a reality, for their unwavering effort to ensure this conference a reality. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept their noble work as amal saleh, and let every one of us also implore Allah for His blessings and guidance so that this conference achieves its aim and objective. And especially to the Dato' Sadiq, we thank you once again for your what I call time, precious time, for willing to grace this auspicious occasion today. So may Allah reward us all, and we all. And I conclude my speech by saying, "Aqulu qawli hadza astaghfirullahi wa lakum, wa billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh."
Thank you, Professor Ghazali. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the highlight of the event, which is to hear a speech from our honored guest, Dr. Muhammad Sadiq, and to be followed by the official launch of the International Conference on Masjid Tourism. Yang berbahagia, Dato'.
Terima kasih Puan pengacara majlis. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang berusaha Dr. Haji Abdul Halim Muhammad, Presiden Islamic Outreach Abim Center. Yang berusaha Tuan Haji Aizan Tukirin, CEO Islamic Outreach Abim Center. Puan Hajah Zawanah binti Muhammad, Director of ILIM. Yang berusaha Norma Sulaiman, Director of Masjid Tour Program Islamic Outreach. Yang berusaha Ustaz Dr. Said Hussein Abdi, Senior Lecturer and Head of Training Islamic Outreach Abim Center. Yang berusaha Dr. Abdul Latif, the new Head of Finance and Fundraising Committee. Yang Berhormat Tuan-Tuan Imam dari Masjid seluruh Malaysia, our esteemed guests from overseas, including from Australia, Brunei, Bahrain, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Japan, Kenya, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, South Africa, Thailand and Turkey. Welcome to Malaysia, brothers. Tuan-tuan, puan-puan serta hadirin yang dikasihi sekalian, semoga kita semua sentiasa mendapat rahmat Allah SWT. Sebenarnya saya mewakili Yang Berhormat Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah, Menteri Luar Negeri, yang menyampaikan salam kepada hadirin semua. Yang Berhormat Datuk Saifuddin sebenarnya berhasrat untuk bersama kita pada pagi ini, namun disebabkan urusan penting yang memerlukan perhatian segera, beliau memohon maaf kerana tidak dapat hadir pada pagi ini. Namun demikian, beliau mendoakan agar persidangan ini berjalan dengan lancar dan mencapai objektif yang disasarkan. Saya dimaklumkan bahawa ramai yang hadir ke majlis kita pada pagi ini datang daripada luar negara, maka saya mohon izin daripada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan untuk meneruskan ucapan ini dalam bahasa Inggeris bagi memudahkan mereka memahami isi kandungan ucapan ini. Praise be to Allah for His infinite blessings. We are all here today in this gathering to celebrate His praises and to renew our commitments to serve in His way, inshallah. Allow me to extend a warm welcome to everyone who has come from afar and wide to attend this International Conference on Masjid Tour Guide. I'm thankful to the Islamic Outreach Abim Center, IOEC, and the committee for inviting me to be part of this effort in sharing the why to and how to of bringing the message of Islam to the non-Muslims, particularly in a masjid setting. It is also heartwarming to know the close collaborative efforts between several organizations, including Islamic Outreach Abim Center, Masjid Sultan Mizan Putrajaya, Institute Latihan Islam Malaysia, Institute Tourism Center, in the organization of this very important and very meaningful conference. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as of 2017, last year, there are currently 1.7 billion Muslims around the world, and Islam is the second biggest religion in the world today. It is expected to become the world's largest religious group within the second half of this century. Unfortunately, with that number of followers in the world today, Islam is still the most misunderstood and misconception religion. There is a lot of prejudices in the media, both the mainstream and social media, towards Islam. In some Western countries, Islamophobia is rife, in fact very rife. So how do we react to this situation? What is our role? Should we just sit back and do nothing about it? Or do we take every opportunity available to us to correct this misconception and spread the beautiful message of Islam to the people around us, especially to the not yet Muslims? As Muslim, each and every one of us inherit the duty of the Prophet to spread the message of Islam, dakwah, warisatul anbiya. As Allah prescribed in Surah Al-Imran 3 verse 3, 110, you are the best nation ever brought forth to men, bidding to honor and forbidding dishonor and believing in God. And who is better in speech than he who invites to Allah? Surah Al-Fusilat 41 verse 33. We all know very well that the first masjid in Islam was built by Prophet Muhammad SAW on his way to Medina during his hijrah. The site of this masjid, which he named as Masjid Quba, was originally a well belonging to Abu Ayyub al-Ansari, surrounded by a village named Quba, inhabited by the tribe of Bani Amr bin Auf, located about 3 kilometers southwest of Medina. The second masjid built was Masjid Al-Nabawi. Since the time of Prophet ﷺ, masjids have always been the focal point for worship and for calling people to worship Allah. This was continued under the caliphates, and this practice has also been emulated by other religions, including Christianity in the churches and Jews in the synagogues. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in 2017 alone, Malaysia recorded a total of almost 26 million tourist arrival last year. Next year, in 2019, Malaysia expects to receive 26.4 million tourists. In Malaysia and in many countries around the world today, it is trending that masjids have become a point of attractions for tourists. Tourists are attracted to visit masjids, which are generally beautifully designed with Islamic and both local architecture and historical value. Masjid Putrajaya, for example, attracts busloads of visitors every day. Around 1,500 to 2,000 visitors daily. On peak season, it can reach up to 5,000 visitors daily. Similarly, for Masjid Negara and Masjid Jamek, which are located in downtown Kuala Lumpur, also receive many visitors daily. Masjid Sultan Mizan, also in Putrajaya, famous for its unique steel structure, is designated as the International Masjid for Malaysia. It is very heartening to learn that IOAC, through this Masjid program, has taken this golden opportunity to explain about Islam to those people who come to visit the masjids. The idea is manifold. For example, one, to explain the beauty of Islam. Secondly, to increase their understanding of this beloved religion. And it's also an opportunity, while they visit our masjid, they help to mitigate the damaging effects of the media on Islam. If Allah opens their hearts and they come to accept Islam, it is a bonus for all of us. Hidayah is from Him alone. We only convey the message in the most beautiful manner, inshallah. the first impressions for those not yet Muslims in any masjid will leave a deep impact in their appreciation of Islam when they visit our masjids. On the contrary, if they have a negative impact on the visit, that will leave a very negative, long-lasting impact in their hearts when they leave the masjid. So it is very important that programs such as this Masjid Tour Guide endeavor to undertake this program seriously, emphasizing good akhlaq, just as Rasulullah SAW would have treated his guests in the house of Allah. To greet them cordially, make our visitors feel comfortable and not feel threatened by this religion, which many would have already have in their minds, no thanks to the mass media associated with, in which Islam has been portrayed to be associated with terrorism and extremism. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, I was made to understand that in Malaysia, Islamic Outreach Abim Center has led this Masjid Tour program since 2002. Congratulations, now 16 years later, there are many masjids and galleries which have adopted this program under the purview of IOAC, including those masjid that I've mentioned earlier. This gathering is the first step in IOAC's efforts to share ABIM's approach globally. It's an outreach program, and to attract many more masjids around the world, inshallah, to open their doors to these non-yet Muslims for da'wah. To do the job more effectively, it is very important to have a standardized or uniform methods, and especially not to repeat the same mistakes, as well as to learn from each other. I therefore sincerely hope that the participants of this conference will benefit new knowledge by sharing from one another from this program, and to take home and start something similar in your respective home and countries. The guidelines and standard operating procedures which will be available after this conference to each masjid will be very useful tool for you. I also allow the formation of a Center of Excellence for Masjid Tour Center program with IOAC as the main driver, together with Masjid Sultan Mizan Putrajaya as a center of operation. Let us pray that the formation of this Center of Excellence will further propel this important da'wah work and receive the blessings of Allah SWT in return. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, once again, I would like to thank the organizing committee from Islamic Outreach Abim Center, Masjid Sultan Mizan, Institute Latihan Islam Malaysia, and Islamic Tourism Center Malaysia, and of course, you can always come us in from Ministry of Foreign Affairs for organizing this conference and future works. I pray that the conference will run smoothly and get the blessing from Allah. With the blessed lafaz Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I declare this conference open. Thank you.
Thank you, Yang Berbahagia Dato', for your very motivating speech. We have just witnessed the official launch of the International Conference on Masjid Tourism. We would like to thank the honoured guests Yang Berbahagia Dato' Muhammad Sadiq for doing us the honour. We would now like to invite the VVIPs on stage to step down for a while for a video session. Oh, sorry. Before that, we would like to invite Yang Berbahagia, Professor Dr. Ghazali bin Basri, representing the President of IOAC, to present a token of appreciation to Yang Berbahagia Datuk Muhammad Sadiq. We would now like to invite the VVIPs on stage to step down for the viewing of the video and for the official photography session of all those present in this very historical event of the first ever International Conference on Masjid Tourism ever held in Malaysia. Yang Berbahagia Datuk, ladies and gentlemen, IOAC's MTG program has been in existence for the past 16 years. We will now view a video of the 15 years of the success of the MTG program.
It's not just enough to say, I'm here to seek the pleasure of Allah. This is, in a macro sense, it makes sense, but we must learn to break it down in components, and each one will have different components that are important to you, and you will be guided in the way that these things evolve for yourself.
Very interesting to learn Muslim religion.
specific mosque in Malacca was sponsored by